Hello.
Hey, everybody.
Howdy. My camera isn't working. I have to fiddle with it.
Uh-oh.
course,
Technical difficulties.
Maybe I won't. I haven't brushed my hair.
Just find a really handsome profile picture.
Oh, light. Well, that's as much light as I can get. Oh, well. I don't expect Marcia to be here.
No?
No.
How's she doing? Do you know? I haven't heard any updates.
What I've heard is not good.
Oh no.
I know. I haven't heard anything definitive, but her daughter says she's not doing well.
Well, that's not good.
Talking about Marcia?
Uh-huh.
Oh. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Well, when Constance comes on, maybe she'll have a newer update. Hi, Angel. Hi, Julie, Yusuf, everybody.
Hi guys. Hi Angel, how are you?
Sorry, I haven't muted. My dogs are crazy. I'm doing good. How are you? It's
I'm
good
good
to see
ya.
everybody. Yes. I'm bundled up in my blankets. I just took a shower and I'm cold still.
I was excited to see your name in the ADEM elections. I'm so glad that you decided to run for that. So
Yes. Thank you.
And you're not the only one with crazy dogs.
Yeah, I know.
Julie, we can't hear you.
I don't know why.
There, I can hear you now.
There, you're unmuted now.
There I am. Okay, but I'm trying to put it on full screen, gallery view, and it's not happening. Oh well, you guys don't know that.
Yeah.
We do not.
You look good to us.
Oh well, thank you. Oh yes, you hairdo.
I love it. Love it.
It's your old-fashioned pin curls.
Really? You did it yourself?
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
thank you.
That's how my mom used to do her hair.
Oh, mine too. Oh, she used to do mine that way too.
Yeah.
No, I've done my daughters that way. I still do mine that way. That's how I was taught.
Yeah.
It's back in vogue.
Hey, you never know. Save those bobby pins. You never know what they're going to be good for.
Everything comes back around eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Yes,
hi,
it does.
Joy.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, Joy.
How you doing?
Good.
Good.
Right, all right, all right, all right. Hmm.
Okay, well, I'm going to take roll for Marcia, since I'm 99% sure she won't be here. And we're going to have a quorum to do our bylaws amendments. So,
How many is that? What's the number we're shooting for?
I have 150.
Am I? Oh, sorry.
16 members.
That's our minimum?
That's what we need for a quorum.
All right. Well, we're halfway there.
Yeah.
We got plenty of time. It's early. Nope.
So I was looking at the election scoreboard, and it's really dismal that Riverside County only had 46%,
6%.
participation.
Bad.
Really bad. However, places like Rancho Mirage and I think it was Palm Desert, certain places, it was up to 55 or, much better percentage for that particular race,
That's
either school
impressive. Yeah.
board or city council. So it takes the getting out and knocking on the doors, I guess. But my goodness, how much more door knocking could Fazia have done?
Well, if she had more volunteers, she could have done more door knocking.
Well, that's true. Of course, she had a whole lot more people to
Yeah.
knock on,
Right.
And look at Nancy Young for her school board. I mean, she only got in there by 57 votes. That's amazing. Yes. Unmute.
Unmute, okay. I do want to comment on that, and because you said Rancho Mirage, and certainly no one knows the Fazia campaign better than you, Saf, but I don't think that we can necessarily, in the case of the small districts of the city council where it's split, where it's micro, to compare it to an overall assembly race, and so the motivation, the targeting is a little bit like there. And the thing about Rancho Mirage, and this was always a shock because I remember analyzing all this information, and it's even gotten more to the Dems plus. People in Rancho Mirage don't even know that they're in the majority, the Democrats are in the majority there. So imagine if they knew that, how much they would vote, I mean, like it's almost even there, but it's now Democratic plus, and they don't know it. Like, I don't know how you tell them this, but hello there, did you know you're in the majority? I mean, like, that's not exactly an opening line necessarily, but I think a lot of Democrats in general don't know that there's as many of us as there are. And I think they feel suppressed by that. And so we definitely have to let them know we're here. And I think that's a very important piece of communications that we somehow have to come to terms with, because people who are canvassing, I mean, you're canvassing, right? It's a little different, I think, in that way.
See, what I'm doing right now is actually going through the data of Riverside County, and I'm looking at all the different cities of what percent we lost by for Fazia. And surprisingly, we actually did pretty good in certain cities, but our biggest loss was in Menifee, which is quite surprising, versus we thought Menifee going to do really good. But the data which I'm really looking for is the percent of Democrats versus Republican. What was the turnout? And that will determine that exactly what happened. What percent?
In Menifee, we had a very, very low young voter turnout. The 55 plus turnout was dramatically higher. District. I only paid attention to District 2. Sorry, I'll be honest.
Yeah. In city of Menifee was 49.76% turnout. So it was actually higher than a county, the total turnout. County, I think, had 42 or 43% total, versus Menifee had 49.76% turnout. Lake Elsinore only had 40% turnout. If you look at Eastville, had 46% turnout. Corona had 52%. And I think these are the cities, Corona, Eastville, Menifee, and Riverside are the cities where the Norco had 55% turnout. So these are the Calvert pockets. If you look at it, Manistee, Lake Elsinore, Corona, Eastville, that were the pockets for Calvert, where he always been very active. And that's what caused it. That's what I'm trying to figure it out, that what was the difference between how many votes Will got and how many votes Fazia got in the same city, so we can actually compare and try to figure it out how many Democrats actually came out. So I'm doing some of these numbers while we are waiting.
Well, when I was canvassing, and I only canvassed in Menifee, most people didn't even know there was an election. So it's yeah, it's bad. But yeah, there in my neighborhood, I think Democrats actually outnumber Republicans now, but I just don't think the Democrats got out and voted this time.
I think we had about 10 to 15% difference between the turnout difference between Democrats and Republicans in this particular election of 2022, especially for Will Rollins in Western Riverside County and for Fazia. These are the I have a feeling that it was at least 10 to 15% more Republican came out, which makes a huge difference when it comes to voting. And of course, as Nancy can actually tell all of us that what that 412 church did and how they got people out and vote. And they didn't shy away from asking people to vote in the name of religion or in the name of values or whatever they can find. They used every trick in a book, and they put a lot of money in it too as well. Right, Nancy?
They lied a lot. You know, they did hit pieces on all of us. And they even took photos and darkened them, you know, which turned me into a darker white person. Dr. Takesha Cooper, you know, it was blatantly racist. And there were just a lot of lies saying that we supported sexual indoctrination of children and CRT, even though, you know, CRT is a law school class and we don't even really know what it is. You know, it was great. They used a lot of scare tactics and lies. And, you know, we're dealing with not just this local 412 church, but we're actually dealing with bigger organizations like Moms for Liberty. You know, I was just at the school board convention in San Diego for 4 days, and they had an organization there. All the 412 school board candidates refused to go to the California school board convention. They all refused. They went to a separate training done by this Pacific Research Institute, which is a right-wing extremist group. And their goal is to defund public education, create for-profit charter schools. But they all were there. We have photos. There was a local attorney who works for Bob Tyler. That you've heard of Bob Tyler? Okay, Nada Figueroa, who ran against Chris Tomasian 4 years ago, is 412. She's in the picture. And it wasn't just our locals, it was like a group of about 25 of them. So they had some pretty nefarious stuff going on. I actually did see Nick Pardue. He was one of the people the one who beat Takesha, the superintendent. He did show up the second and third day. He just went to that other training the first day, and our superintendent wanted me to have lunch with him and, you know, the superintendent. I felt like I wanted to take a poison pill, but I didn't. And I actually called him out on the negative campaigning. And he said, well, I didn't have anything to do. It was the Inland Empire Family PAC. And I said, you took money from them. This is on you. You're responsible. And he goes, well, I'm Catholic. And the only reason they supported me is they couldn't find somebody who could beat me. I mean, he has quite an ego, but absolutely no responsibility. But I did feel the need to say something to him and not pretend like everything's okay, you know, after everything they did. But so I think he's kind of trying to play both sides. I don't know if you saw the article in the Press Enterprise where he was quoted. He is kind of trying to play both sides. They actually interviewed me as well, but I gave them, because I feel like nothing good would come about me talking about 412 for the press. It would just get me, because I'm going to be attacked big time at the first meeting. So I just said, I'm going to be working to support the school, that this high quality school district. And I know parents offer so much support, they'll keep continuing that, which was certainly boring. So yeah, I wasn't included in the article, which I was kind of happy about, but yeah, it's horrible. And there's a lot more going on than just this local 412 stuff. It's a big organization. Anyway, get off my soapbox, but
I think we're all proud of Nancy now being the vanguard of supporting rational policies in school districts in Marietta. I'm sure that's probably a difficult task to swallow, but we're all proud of you.
Thank you. I did not think I would. I don't think we all thought all these people would be creamed. I really thought, okay, I'll block a 412 candidate. I expected the incumbents to win, and I did not really see this coming with Ellen and Takesha. And the same thing happened in Temecula. It was horrible. People were shocked. It's like Adam Skumowitz, people were shocked, but they really have a fairly complicated political machine. And I'm very, and of course I don't like Republicans very much, but disappointed, in some of the people they endorsed. There was Courtney Cooper running against me, who was absolutely the worst out of all of them. And there was another man also somewhat aligned with her, Jeff Hogard, not nearly the monster she is. Who do they endorse? Courtney Cooper. So clearly, I'm a Democrat, but if I were a Republican, I would have endorsed Jeff Hogard, even though I don't agree with him on anything, but he's not as horrible as her. But anyway, we know they're gonna fire the superintendent in Temecula. They will fire the district attorneys. They're gonna probably put that Bob Tyler in his firm in. And yeah, we'll see if legally they shouldn't be able to do it on the 13th unless they put it on the agenda. But if you've seen some of the footage of what they've done in other parts of the US, they just do it straight off the bat. Anyway, I guess, well, I do have Dr. Gomez's phone number. I know they all have his phone number. He can kind of guide the remaining people what to do there. So I saw him he was at the convention as well. It was mostly was board members, superintendents, and then the higher ranking ones. I did talk to him because he endorsed me.
Nancy, real quick, I want to ask you something. I know that in Corona and Norco area, we noticed that even some churches were promoting openly Republican candidates from the pulpit.
Yeah,
which is actually a violation of 501c3.
Yeah, people keep reporting them. That was actually going on in the Temecula Valley with other evangelical churches, not just 412, but multiple evangelical churches were giving the list of 412 candidates saying, oh, they're Christian.
Mm-hmm.
You can decide what you're going to do, and this Courtney Cooper she's the most vicious person. She's worse than all of them. So anyway, I did keep her off the school board. So.
Because the Calvary Church over here, on Sunday sermon, that's how they introduced it. So they started their pitch by asking the Christians to rise up and fight against the wickedness. And these are the 5 candidates who we have well vetted. So we want you to listen to them. So in a way, calling a pitch for Christians to rise up and then say, these are the well vetted candidates. Now, there has to be something we can do, because how many churches will lose their status of 501c3? There has to be something needs to be done. They cannot use their nonprofit status to influence people in the name of God
Mhm.
and pretty much blackmail them who to vote for.
Well, 412 is actually a spinoff of Calvary Chapel.
Mm.
That Tim Thompson, who by the way has a criminal record, he wouldn't be, he broke away from, I guess Calvary Chapel wasn't radical enough for him. But yeah, I'm certain that, it's the ultra evangelicals that are doing this. I don't know that because there are liberal Christian groups and I don't think they're involved in this stuff. But yeah, that's how it was coming from so many angles. The Republican Party, these churches, these evangelicals. But it's illegal. But, apparently ever since I've heard since Trump was president, they're not enforcing it. So they're
They're not
openly
enforcing it, yes.
politicizing.
As a matter of fact, I believe that Trump was suggesting to let the churches be involved in politics and their 501c3 should not be interrupted because they are taking a side of one party versus other. So
Well, now we're going to have it on the school board because you have these, whatever other white supremacists, they're fascists.
Mhm.
They're on the Temecula school board. People are already, our social worker from my school was there because they did a presentation on social emotional learning, but which by the way, they're against. So they're wanting to get rid of social workers and counselors. But she told me she's leaving, because I told her, they're wanting, but Murrieta, if you know, and Murrieta is hiring more social workers, which they can now that they don't have a majority. So I'm going to go I can't email her. It's not safe, but I'm going to go talk to her and just tell her there will be jobs open in the Murrieta district for social workers if some of them want to try to slide over.
Do you know that 501c3 is actually imposed and revoked by state? So Attorney General's office, Rob Bonta's office actually looks over that. I was really thinking that if we can have enough proof and we can gather some of those videos, maybe we can actually make a packet and send it to Rob Bonta's office. And him being, I'm not saying being Democrat, but he's a very fair attorney general. Maybe if we have a couple of examples where the action are taken, that might will stop these people from using the pulpit to promote politics.
And I'm glad you said that, Yusuf. I have a relationship with Rob Bonta, and that's exactly where I think we need to go with that, because you're right, that we can at least bring it to its knees, so to speak, and start with that. But I think we also have to consider and there are many videos. There are many videos. They have a whole station and they actually broadcast from a station. You can go to YouTube and see it. So it doesn't take a lot to show that that's what's going on there. So the proof is right out there, but we can't lessen the effect of the enforcers and the sheriff's offices, because the threat of violence is in tandem with the takeovers, and that fear, and they're there, the enforcers are out in the field, and they're also the financiers. So that's that's a big part of the issue, and it's not just here.
Yeah, we're afraid they'll show up at, we do have armed police officers at the school board meetings, like in Murrieta, they're always two, but I've become quite close to Linda Lunn, who's on the board. She's amazing. She knows everything about 412, has been on to them for years before anybody else I know. But, we're both afraid, they're going to show up with guns.
What I was more emphasizing on is this, that if Attorney General's office can take an action and revoke their 501c3, which hurt them two ways. One, they have to pay the taxes on everything they collect as a donation. And second, those who are funding them cannot write it off as a donation on their tax returns. And if you want to hurt anyone in America, the best way to do it is do it financially, right? And that's the key to it. So I think that if we start somewhere and a couple of these churches lose their only 501c3, they can practice whatever they want, but they just cannot enjoy the status of being nonprofit. And if so, maybe we can put something together. I'll talk to some others. And yes, Joy, I have a very good relationship with Rob. Also, I have worked with him on few stuff as well. So maybe we can work together and with different clubs. Maybe the place of going YouTube, if it comes from individuals where they have their videos or something, that will help. You just need 2 or 3 examples where 2 or 3 churches get fined, and I think that will put the stop to it.
I mean, we saw the videos with Mike Hestron.
Mm-hmm.
There were videos with him and also for Burke Strunsky,
Mm-hmm.
where they were, against him, and also the sheriff himself. I mean, right there at the church with this going on, and him calling, and Tim calling LGBT people the devil, and I mean, it's just there and it's very visible, and they don't care. They have it up there and they don't really care. They're right out, just like Herschel Walker and Mr. Trump himself. They're right out there in full view of the public. I mean, that's where we've gotten to.
Well, the difference is 412 is a nonprofit entity and Herschel Walker's not. Donald Trump tries to be, but he can't do that anymore.
I only mean to say it's in public. That's what I mean.
I spoke to Javier Becerra when he was Attorney General about 4 years ago, before Biden chose him to be Secretary of Health. And what he told me was that if somebody comes in as a guest and sees something, maybe church is not responsible. But if the priest or the person who's in charge and giving sermon, who's part of that church does it, then it can be enforced because they are responsible for their wording. So sheriff, yes, he had done that, but sheriff can say that, well, I was a guest and I didn't realize that I shouldn't say that on the pulpit, which is, he should know, he's an enforcer. But anyways, I think it's time for you guys to start your meeting. Sorry.
Now, 1.5 more minutes. Keep talking.
I hope we were not boring some of you guys.
No. We love this stuff.
We love this stuff.
Yes.
We're here.
We love all the torture.
Yeah. The life of a Democrat, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Especially the candidates, they really love the torture.
Mhm. Not. God.
I beg to differ. So, I did not love the torture.
I was just going to say that I was reading at that Pacific Institute that the 412ers went to for training, that they're funded by the Koch brothers.
Yeah, I saw all of the, as I mentioned earlier, all of the 412 candidates, all of them from Temecula, Murrieta, and Lake Elsinore. I don't know if there were any in Menifee, but they went to that training. We have photos. There's like 25 of them in the photos. So it wasn't just our locals, and this local attorney that works for Bob Tyler, Nada Figueroa, is in the picture. So, we think, they can't do anything if they don't fire the superintendent. We think they're, going to fire the superintendent, and then they fire the attorneys. We think they're going to put that firm in charge of the Temecula district. But she's in the photo, and she ran against Chris Tomasian 4 years ago. I didn't realize she was, I didn't really know who I knew to vote for Chris because I asked my teacher friends, but.
What was her name again? The one that ran
Nada,
against
Nada Figueroa. I have photos,
Nada.
but and I don't know if that's a violation of the Brown Act for having those 4 Temecula 412. Well, there were 3 of them. No, there's 3 of them were there together.
As long as if you find them talking to each other in the same group, then it's a violation. They can be all 3 at the same place. It's just they cannot be in a same conversation.
Well, they were sitting next to each other, and we have it.
That's a violation of Brown Act.
There were 2 Murrieta ones because only 2 of them slithered in. It's Nick Pardue and Julie Vandegrift.
it's my understanding that the Brown Act only pertains to board-related conversations. So technically, I think they can all three be talking about how much they love corn or how much they like some particular piece of music, as long as they can prove they weren't talking about issues pertaining to the board. So it's really hard to enforce. That's the problem with the Brown Act, or that they're not daisy chaining information pertaining to board activities.
Well, we just have photos. We don't have recordings.
That's the problem.
I know.
Yeah.
But they were with that Pacific Research Institute. They blew off the California School Board Association's training and went to that instead, all of them.
Okay, this has been extremely interesting, but we have to interrupt it for a meeting. We're gonna call it to order at 7:02. And you got that. Constance is here. We're gonna start with Pledge of Allegiance. Bill will bring up a flag.
Getting there, one sec.
I know.
There we go.
Let's have Angel lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let me unmute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Nice flag. Okay, let's go ahead and take that down. Do you have the agenda to put up so we can read our little DSRC pledge? The Democrats of Southwest Riverside County, DSRC, are committed to providing a welcoming, respectful, friendly, safe, supportive, and harassment-free environment for officers, members, guests, and all others associated with the club. DSRC's mutually respectful behavior standards are not limited to DSRC membership meetings, but apply as well to calls, texts, emails, and social media. Thank you. While we have that up, we're going to adopt the agenda. It was sent out in the announcement email that Bill sent last week and sent again today. If anyone has any questions, changes, or additions to make to the agenda, now would be the time. Seeing no hands, we'll go ahead and adopt the agenda.
It's like county, that's why all those guys are here.
Okay, and then we'll bring up the minutes from November 7th. These were also sent out with the announcement last week and today. If anyone sees any corrections, changes, or additions that were left out of the minutes from November, please let us know now. Seeing no hands, we'll go ahead and accept the minutes into the record. Thank you. Okay. We're going to skip the guests and new members. We have a lot of people here. We have a lot of people to hear from tonight. We're going to start with the candidates for Riverside County Democratic Party chair. I don't know if all of you know that Tisa Rodriguez has resigned as chair effective last month. And next Monday, a week from today, there will be an election for the new chair of our county party. We have the three candidates who are running here, and I thank them all for making time to come and let us know why they're running and why we should vote for them. And we're going to start with Joy Silver. Bill, can you mute everyone else and make sure Joy can get unmuted, and we'll let her go ahead and start. And we'll give each one of them 5 minutes, and then if we may or may not have time for questions because we have a big agenda tonight, but let's hear what they have to say.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi, I'm Joy Silver, and I'm running for County Party Chair. I ran for State Senate in 2018 and in 20. In 2017, I organized the Courageous Resistance, Indivisible of the Desert, growing from 17 to 1,700 in 6 months. We produced many rallies in coordination with Dem Clubs, Move On, the Women's March, and Planned Parenthood. And we brought hundreds of people together, even in 120-degree temperatures. In 2016, I was a paid organizer trained by the National Democratic Party and then deployed to Nevada. Today, I host a political podcast called Outspoken on Radio 111, and I serve as Chief Strategy Officer for a nonprofit affordable housing developer. My responsibility is to set the organization on a cohesive pathway of expansion and sustainability. So why am I running? I am running because I love our vision of democracy and our dream of liberty and justice for all. Because it's a dangerous time in America. And we see the damage that hate-filled white supremacists are causing nationally. And we see it here in Riverside County, like our discussion. Look at their wins at the school board, or Calvert's win over Will Rollins, and even the situation with the Hulstad-Wallace race. All of our statewide Dems lost them all. See, our own county is in danger because national partnerships are at work. Moms for Liberty, financed by sheriff's associations and fueled by, in our case, that 412 church and multiple others, having spiritual warfare against us. And of course, we know the job of the county party is to get Democrats elected, but how? 5 points. First, we must define the opposition for what they are, and we must become battle ready. And we do it by building a united front so we can fight the true opposition and not each other. We take the fight to the battlegrounds and organize from the ground up. We target resources down to down ballot races. We build a county infrastructure, district by district, precinct by precinct, one that county endorsed candidates can plug into. We start by running the county party as a candidate all year round. We develop a roadmap, a battle plan, a campaign strategy, and it means reorganizing, even identifying some paid positions. We also must address Latino and the 18 to 34 voters with real resources. The strategic plan is developed by team approach, where we establish goals and timelines, short and long term. It has actionable items and it includes a fundraising plan so we can build an independent war chest. To create this plan, every voice must be heard. A debriefing from the last campaign must take place throughout the county. Ultimately, that would also mean inviting the clubs to become voting members. And 5, we must infuse our county party with the hundreds of campaign volunteers, grassroots, resistance, unity groups, rally attendees, all who are currently working right now independently outside the Dem clubs or the county party. They work outside the system because they don't see the relevancy of club membership. Now, like Hakeem Jeffries, I see the chair role as a team. This means delegating appropriate responsibilities to 3 executive assistants. This allows the chair to laser focus on the long game, raise funds, and drive our mutually created strategic plan forward. It means having the time to work relationships with party members, the unions, and electeds up and down the state, and to do what leadership must do, inspire and motivate. Look, I raised $1.2 million for my Senate campaign, $35,000 for Democratic Women of the Desert during COVID, $60,000 with the Rasa PAC that's dedicated to ousting Oathkeeper Bianco and other extremists in this county. And I was part of the fundraising committee for RCDP 2019 JFK Awards, and we raised over $50,000. I even helped bring some money to the table for the Western Riverside Blue Wave Gala. I've been a member of every Dem club in Riverside County. I serve as VP for Democratic Women of the Desert, and I have been to numerous states working in the field. I have the skills and the passion to execute our collective Riverside County Democratic vision. I'm Joy Silver. I'd be honored to earn your vote. Let's build a united front. Let's be bold, let's be brave, and let's kick some ass. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Okay, next we will hear from Yusuf Bagani.
Good evening, Democrats. Most of you know who am I. Who am I? My name is Yusuf Bagani. Some of you know me as Joe Bagani. A little background of mine. I'm a 51-year-old, and I started my first business when I was 20. In the last 31 years, I only got employed for 4 years. The last 27 years, I am running different businesses. It's very hard to follow Joy because she's so excited and she says all the right things. And that's good. I'm so glad that this time Riverside County Party actually have 3 candidates. So we can see that we really see the future and we can see the issues we want to tackle. But who will be able to do it the best? Personally, I don't call Joy or Edison as my opponent. I call them as my partners. The reason why, because I believe same thing as what Joey say. Together, we as a team, we can do much better than individual. The first thing I like to do in the Riverside County Democratic Party is actually bring the trust back. And how you can bring the trust back? By giving a voice to every person. Every central committee member goes through an election. They go through a ballot process in a county where every Democrat vote for them. So when you get to that position, then you earn your seat. That means that every person must be empowered to answer. We can answer, the leadership must answer every question they have. The leadership must allow them to speak their mind. And last but not least, every central committee member should be a part of some committee. The committees should not be run by one person or 5 people who are part of every committee. The way we're going to make this party stronger, if we have more voices, more ideas, more visions, and then how we can bridge that together. That's what I want to do. Second thing I want to do, and as Joey said that, and I second that, every club must have a voting right, means they pick one person from a club who should become a part of central committee. So in that way, we can build the bridge between the central committee and the clubs. So we all are on the same page. I've been a part of politics when in 2007, when Bill Hedrick was running against Ken Calvert and lost by 3,000 votes, my house was a phone banking place. And people used to come to my house and make phone calls. So I've been doing this for that long. And I realized one thing, that every campaign since then, from Tim Sheridan to Michelle Singleton, Joy Silver, Fawzia Rizvi, Sabrina Cervantes, I learned one thing, that Brian Nash, that our candidates run their campaign individually by themselves. There is no coordination because from party, there is no instructions on how to run this campaign and how you can work with each other. But that also affect our candidates like Angel and Nancy, who actually on a down ballot. So if we knock one Democrat door to make sure that they come out and vote, then they're going to vote for Will Rollins. They're going to vote for Brian Nash. They're going to vote for Fawzia Rizvi. They're going to vote for Angel. They're going to vote for Nancy. But how we can do that? I came across many, many candidates in Western Riverside County who I work with who even don't know how to open a committee. And that kind of resources party must provide. I believe the chair only have 3 jobs. 1, unify the party, means every person is a part of the team. Second thing, get the Democrats elected in every seat. Now, that's not possible, but I'll tell you a small story. That when Fawzia was running, she jumped into the assembly race in the last minute. And she made her opponent spend the money. That's the same person, her opponent, who gave $5,000 to Greg Wallace, who actually right now winning by 34 votes against Christy Holstich. Now just imagine if that person didn't have any competition, then he would have given a lot more money to a lot more Republicans who would have hurt us in many other races. So we need to make sure that regardless, we cannot cherry pick that this race is going to win and this race is going to lose, but we find a quality candidate, stand behind them, make sure that it doesn't matter how the district look like, but we want to encourage Democrats to run on every seat and then work as hard as possible to make sure that they win. Our presence also comes from club are grassroots. Okay, central committee members sometimes are part of a club, sometimes they are not, but they are not on a grassroots level. You guys are. Your club actually is a part who write the postcards, who knock the doors, who make the phone calls. But don't you guys need to have a system where we all are on the same page, so we all are working together? Because if we all work together, I promise you that this county, which actually have 100,000 more Democrats, we are the third largest county in the state, but we've been treated as a stepchild only and only because we do not produce the results. And for us to produce the results, we must work together. As my experience of being a part of executive board for California Democratic Party, part of executive board of Riverside County Democratic Party, part of finance committee for California Democratic Party, chair of AD 60 and now chair of AD 63. And also I serve as assistant treasurer for Corona Norco Dem Club. I know how to run the organizations. I'm also a president of statewide political action committee. So I know how to work with people. As I told you, 27 years of being in business, we can raise the money, but if you don't know how to spend the money, then that money is no good for you. So I have skills to raise money, as well as I know how to spend that money, because running business is the hardest thing to do. And then my political background, where actually I have built a relationship from governor's office all the way down to a local candidates, where I can actually text them and talk to them. So thank you for listening to me. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Francis. Thank you, everyone. My name is Yusuf Bagani. I'm running for county chair, and I hope I can earn your vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, next we will go to the third candidate, and that is Edison Gomez Kraus.
All right. Thank you very much, Fran. And I'm going to apologize beforehand. It's 43 degrees and this room has like really, really bad heating. So I'm going to be stuttering and I'm going to be speaking kind of weird. But okay, for those of you who may not know me, my name is Edison Gomez Kraus. I am currently serving as a medical interpreter down in the desert, working with elderly immigrants and the families of neurodivergent children. I have a background in ESL education and I have a bachelor's in culinary arts and business administration. I began it's not really career. I got introduced to Riverside County politics when I moved back to the United States after college. I was appointed to the Anza Valley Municipal Advisory Council by Supervisor Chuck Washington. I was the youngest member of any municipal advisory council at the time. Within a year, I was elected chair of that municipal advisory council. I got involved with other groups here in the region, High Country Growers, Small Farmers Association, with the Sidewalk Project in Los Angeles, a needle exchange program, and a wound treatment for the homeless in Skid Row. After that, I joined the Riverside County Democratic Party. I became, at the time, I was the youngest chair of any AD. I then moved on to serve as chair of the Election Protection Committee, and I am currently serving as chair, but not chair, on the executive board of the California Democratic Party. That's my background. As election protection chair, which is one of the most meaningful work I've done with the party, I've worked closely with RCDP and CDP leadership. So I have a good understanding of what the coordinated campaigns look like and what outreach is done for candidates and towards the voting people of Riverside County. I've worked on 3 special elections, 2 general elections, 2 primaries, one of those being leading the multi-county effort in the Inland Empire for the recall against Governor Newsom. Look, I understand the position of chair is not that of an autocrat that will impose his grand vision of the RCDP. And I know I'm guilty of sometimes speaking of pie in the sky concepts, things that are beautiful that I would like to achieve. But the chair is a very, it's a very administrative position. The chair's main function is to be fundraiser, is to be a strategist, and to be a coordinator of the RCDP. Our job would be to facilitate the resources that the county needs to do the work that it's supposed to do, which is, of course, recruiting, training, and electing Democrats. To do these things, there's a few things in the way of the RCDP right now. And one of the things that we need to do is increase voter turnout. We saw it was bad. We have to increase the Latino and youth vote without tokenizing them. We have to increase the legitimacy of the RCDP, and we have to fundraise. And you can't fundraise if the RCDP is not legitimate. You can't legitimize the RCDP if your own members don't participate in your committees. It's not entirely leadership's fault that some things may not get done, even though they're envisioned, right? The chair can have grand ideas, but if the party doesn't participate, none of that will get done. So it is the job of the chair to once again reach out to labor, fellow organizations, and work within our communities to get the work done. We also have to participate with fellow county committees. San Bernardino is one particular instance where Christy Holstage won, or is winning, Riverside County, but she lost in San Bernardino, big. So if we participate, is that a 1 minute? Fran, or are you scratching? Okay, cool. All right, so in closing, I believe that the Riverside County Democratic Party is ready for a fresh face, something different. I'm 35, I'm not that young anymore, but I'm still more relatable to this younger crowd. I understand what we need, and sometimes many young people are afraid to come forth because they see a bunch of older faces and they just feel like this ain't me. And I hope I can bridge that gap. Riverside County Party is ready. And in the words of the poet Zach De La Rocha, it needs to start sometime. It needs to start someplace. What better place than here, and what better time than now? So I say we're ready. Edison Gomez-Kraus.
Thank you, Edison. Awesome, all three candidates. I wish all three of you luck next week, and no matter which one of you wins, it will. I'm sure you'll all work together to improve the county party for all of us. Okay, let's move on to the candidates. Let's start with. Let's see, I have a list somewhere. Stephen Houlihan.
Well, thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Am I actually on? All right, there we go. There we go. Hard to follow those speeches. I think all three of the candidates that just spoke hit the nail on the head with all of their comments. Working together, getting the youth vote, getting more Democrats out there, all of the above. So I got to say, excellent. By no matter who you choose there, looks like we got some hard workers. But again, so I'm Stephen Houlihan. And I'm one of the candidates who ran in the most recent election. I ran against Daryl Iza. Kind of came late to Riverside because it wasn't even part of the district until the very end. Had no idea. But I'll tell you, at the end of towards the end of the race, I drove up to Marietta. I drove to Temecula every single weekend. I was there. I was at the duck pond on the very last weekend, waving to everyone, making sure that Temecula and Marietta and Riverside felt like they had representation. And lo and behold, we actually performed pretty well. I was able to get 40% of the vote and 101,000 votes. Now, I didn't win, but I also was terribly underfunded in comparison to Daryl Iza, who spent $1.4 million to get 150,000 votes. We spent 50,000, but it's because we used elbow grease, and we went out there and we went door to door. We did all the right things, and so that's where what's important is we need people to come together. I could have used a little help. I want to say, I got calls, from like Nancy, from Brian. Hey, your signs are down. Hey, something's up. I need eyes up there to tell me. And so we do need to coordinate. I need that little bit of help, because we could get some of these guys out. I saw Will Rollins was very close. We had to work together to push him over the top. It's not Will or Steve, It's Will and Steve. We got to work together. So again, I don't want to go long because we got such a long, so many people that need to talk. But let me tell you this: we've already filed the paperwork. I'm running for 2024. We're going right back at it. The campaign for 2024 has already started. I got over $5,000 worth of materials. I was up the day after the election. I was up in Marietta. I was in Temecula getting all my signs back before they could be stolen by these weird vigilante Christian weirdos or your constitutional sheriff. So let's get together. And I hope Will comes back too. I know it hurts because he had a much better, people thought he could do it. I think he can do it. He just got to come back. And same with all the other candidates. If you didn't make it, that doesn't mean you lost. That meant you learned. And so we need to go right back at it and we need to fight. So again, I don't want to go too long, but I'm in it for 2024. I wanted to make sure and make that announcement. I'm going, talking to all the different groups. We have to fight because if we lose, we lost the House by a narrow margin. Let's take it back. Hopefully tomorrow we get that +1 seat on the Senate and let's fight these people. Let's fight. And I don't want to be like, well, it's got to be violent like they are. I'm saying let's fight within the constraints and protect our Constitution. Let's protect our minority friends, our LGBTQ friends, and our own rights. So thanks, and I hope call me, reach out to me. I am here. I want to help every one of the down ballot candidates. So thanks again for the opportunity.
Thanks, Stephen. Thanks for a great job, and had a great time at that rally at the duck pond too.
Absolutely.
That was awesome. Thanks. Next we'll go to Will Rollins.
Thanks, Fran, and thank you, Steve, for running, and thanks to every single candidate on the call tonight for running. It's great to see all of you again. It's been quite an interesting month, but I thought I would just start off by saying thank you to everybody for all of the incredible work that you guys did over the last year, helping to build an incredible campaign for not just me, but for every candidate up and down the ballot in Riverside County, and also for producing what became the closest midterm election of any in Ken Calvert's 30 years in Congress. That never would have happened without every single person on this Zoom and everybody in our organization and across the county who really went out and knocked doors and made the effort. Ended up coming just short of winning. And I'll tell you, I'll share a funny story about how I learned that we had lost in a second, but the overall margin was 4.6% roughly, and then about 11,000 votes out of roughly 240,000 cast. And in a midterm performance, that ended up actually being the strongest of any Democratic challenger in the state of California compared to the 2020 presidential election results. So Donald Trump won California 41 by 1.1%. And we ended up losing the midterm by about 4.6%, as I said. And if you compare that to the other Democratic challengers, we did actually very, very well. And it's one of the top 5 or 6 races nationally in the entire United States relative to that 2020 presidential number for Democratic challengers. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody again and especially, I know in the ballot curing process, a lot of people were showing up and helping to go out and knock doors and get people to actually make sure that their ballots were counted at the end. We thought the margin could be that close. And in fact, they thought it was so close that the party initially was confident enough in the victory to invite me back to DC, where I went to new congressman orientation. And let me tell you, there is nothing weirder as a job training experience than being on the floor of the U.S. House of Representatives with Nancy Pelosi, who's giving you a tour to see an alert from the Associated Press on your phone that the race has been called for your opponent. So Paolo was with me for that experience, but I think that's just a testament to how close the election was. And, to echo what Steve just said, I really, as painful as it is to lose one of these things that's close, we know that this guy can be beaten in 2024. And I think even he knows it. And I'm just so grateful for all of you who have reached out and encouraged me to do it again. And the members of Congress who've encouraged me to do it again too. And I think that we're in a great position because of the organization that we built. And so just to share a little bit of insight, I think, into what happened this time, turnout in the Coachella Valley, and these are just some preliminary numbers, roughly 70-80% turnout. That's about 1/3 of the district. Western Riverside County, Corona, Lake Elsinore, Menifee, Canyon Lake, Norco, turnout there roughly 40 to 55%. And to echo what some of the candidates for county chair have been saying, and also what Steve is saying, I think really turnout is absolutely everything. And we kind of knew that that was going to be the case going into it. And I think the good news is we've built some more name recognition across the district in a midterm cycle. And so I think as that increases in 2024, and also with the presidential year turnout compared to the prior margins, there's really just no way that Calvert can survive it. So I'm looking forward to being a part of the team that takes them out in 2024. I haven't finalized any decisions yet. Very, very likely to do it again because I know he can be beaten, and I just have loved the experience of getting to work with everybody and being our voice in the community against some of these people who have been really horrifically undermining our democracy. That was the whole point of the campaign. And it may have been fate that the day after I found out that we lost, Donald Trump announced his 2024 candidacy for office, which is kind of the entire reason that I launched as a candidate and quit my job to do this after, being in a completely different field for so long. So the other good news I'll share, I guess, about what we've seen in the preliminary results, Coachella Valley, at least, we know there were some split ticket voters. So I won a lot of Republicans, probably about 2,000 to 3,000 Republicans and independents in the Coachella Valley, which is a big deal. And so I think, as some of us have talked about before, given the media markets and the way that their pricing works, the western side of the county and the district, Corona, Lake Elsinore, very expensive to do any paid advertising there. Very difficult for people to get your name ID up. But the good news is after we came this close in 2022, I think the national party is absolutely going to be there in 2024, which will make a huge difference for getting our message out and getting the vote out. And I just want to, close by, echoing and being so encouraged by what every single one of those candidates for the county chair position said tonight, which is if we are organized, if we keep that grassroots momentum up, this district is absolutely on the map. Calvert will absolutely lose in 2024. And I'm just beyond grateful to everybody, again, for all of the incredible help that you gave to me and to all of us running as candidates. And thanks again to the candidates who stepped up and did it. I know what it takes now firsthand, and it's a great experience. It's challenging, but I'm really encouraged about what's going to happen in the next cycle. And I think that despite some low turnout this time, the next year will be different. And I look forward to working with all of you to make sure that this county stays blue, because that's exactly where most of us are. We just need to turn out. So thank you, Fran. Thanks for having me, and great seeing everybody tonight.
You do decide to run. If not, we support you, whatever you do. Thank you.
Thanks, Fran.
Okay, we'll skip on down to Mr. Brian Nash.
All right, thanks, guys. First off, thanks to Steve and Will for all of your hard work throughout the campaign. Everything that you guys have done here in Riverside County and beyond is super, super important as far as laying the groundwork for everyone that's going to come beyond, whether you run again or not. It's super important. And I just want to hit on a number that Will talked about. I think you guys know, I just kind of shoot off the hip a little bit. You mentioned the 40 to 50%, and I think that's kind of the story for not just my race, but a lot of the other ones that are along the western Riverside County, southwest Riverside County for sure. Turnout was an issue. I certainly, funding for my race. So let's just make one point perfectly clear. I did not seek funding for my race. I raised a grand total of about $5,000 because of the circumstances in which I ran, being brand new to the area, being brand new to the party. I wanted to make sure you guys got a chance to know who I am. And I think that that was very successful. So I'll take that for what it is. But I think going forward, one of the things I want to make sure we're hitting on is not just continuing to talk to the same people over and over. I think we need to start reaching out to independents. They are going, whatever an independent looks like nowadays, right? It's hard to define what that is. And I think that's actually going to be up to the chair and leadership in the Riverside County and all these other counties to figure out exactly what is an independent in this area. Make sure that we're finding a way to talk to them as well and bring them aboard. That's how you go from the 40 to 50% up to truly winning numbers. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm very proud of the campaign. I ran 110,000 votes as a first-time candidate. Is nothing to sneeze at. You know, very helpful to be a part of helping Will get where he was, Steve where he was, Fazia, all these people up and down the ticket, just, you know, wanting to be supportive of everything that they were doing. You know, I have no complaints, but I think that there's a lot of takeaways that we can do to make sure that 2024 is more successful. And that starts as of November 9th. So we're already in that process right now. So we'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate everything you did. Fazia.
I'm here.
Oh,
Thank you
there
for this. Hello, everyone. It's good to see you all. First of all, thank you so much for your support for my race. And thank you to all the candidates. Because of all of you, we went through a process. We learned a lot. And now we are here with learned experience moving forward to 2024 to make sure that we get the results that we were not able to get it this time. But the good thing is that we are progressing as Democrats. We are making a difference. We've seen that these are areas we never, knocking doors in Menifee. I realized that this is a city that we really can do. If we invest in the infrastructure there, if we do the work, we will be able to turn it blue in next couple of years. These were the cities. When we talk about turnout, I think we really need to think about, we need to start working on, having these relationships with the Democrats now. I realize it's the work that we need, that needs to be done within the next 2 years, not right 6 months before the election. So there were, as everyone said, it was a low turnout. We did the best we can with our race. We were, we had an uphill battle, but as I've mentioned, that I got into the race knowing that there should not be any seat where we are not fighting the Republicans, because that's what they've done. And we need to now start taking back our Western Riverside County and all these seats. So I'm not sure if I'm going to run again for this seat, but I'm here for Will. I'm here for Brian, whoever wants to do this. Let's do it, because as I said, progress doesn't come. It doesn't happen overnight. It's the work that we put in today that's going to give us the result in 2024. So thank you all for being the support that I needed. I learned a lot about Western Riverside County. I'd only worked in Corona before, so coming out there was an experience, and I met a lot of great people, and I'm looking forward to just being out there more. So thank you all.
Thank you, Fazia. Great job. Jimmy Jackson, I believe Jimmy Jackson is here in the house.
Yes, I am. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Many of the things that I would normally say have been said already. So rather than repeat everything that's previously been said, I have to say I concur with many of the things I've heard. And for myself at a personal level, it's been a learning experience. I'd like to congratulate the successful ones and ones such as myself who trying to continue to be successful, I think perseverance is the key word that we should all remember. And with that perseverance, and I did hear teamwork quite a few times mentioned by many of the candidates, I think that would have a very positive effect in the future with the lessons we have learned. Thank you. It's been an interesting experience, and I have learned a lot.
Thanks, Jimmy. Yeah, I think we all learned a lot this time, and we need to put those lessons to use next time. Angel Nevin.
Hi, thank you, everybody. It was a big learning curve for me. I didn't even know how to set up a bank account. Edison helped me, so I could finally start getting donations. I basically self-funded, put $3,000 of my own money into it, which is why I didn't have signs everywhere. But everybody rallied behind me. They door knocked, they postcarded, and it was a learning curve. But I would like to, for the next people who want to run, I want to share my knowledge. I want to help them because, it was scary, but it was fun. And my husband, every time he saw my votes going up, he's like, "There's 500 people in Menifee that voted for you." He's like, "You don't even know 500 people." So it's just the little things like that. So I want to thank everybody for all your support. And yeah, I don't know, I might do it again. You might see me in 4 years trying again.
Thanks, Angel. We hope we see you again in 4 years. And I would have voted for you if I lived in your district. Nancy Young.
Hi, well, I did win the school board race, along with two 412 people. Fortunately, they are not the majority in Murrieta. They did take the majority in Temecula, and they grabbed one more seat on the Lake Elsinore School Board. So I believe they're up to 2 there. They also got another seat on the Temecula City Council. So there's 2 there as well. Yeah, I agree with all the others about the learning curve. I struggled with documents. I finally hired somebody to do it. It's scary. And a lot of people on here helped me a lot. And I appreciate everything that everybody did to help me, with postcards. Tim Sheridan really helped, manage my campaign. People donated money. I had people going door to door. And if I forgot anything, but yeah, I did have a lot of help, and I really want to thank people for that. And I'll do my best. It's going to be wild on the school board with the current environment we're in. Anyway, that's it.
Going on, and if you need people to show up, let us know and we can help you get out some people to support the Murrieta School Board.
I think I do. Yeah, we're expecting I'm good friends with somebody who is still on the school board, and they're going to be there shouting at me because I hear they're not happy that I'm on the board, the 412 people. So
good. We're glad they're unhappy.
Yeah.
Could I ask, when is the first board meeting?
On the 15th, next week, Thursday, and we'll take the oath. They might do it early before. I think they're going to do it publicly and then go into closed session and then go into open session. So
get that information to Bill when you know for sure. And
yeah, I don't know the time of the oath, but normally the closed session starts at 3:30 and the open session starts at 5. They want to do the oath before, but I just spent 4 days at a school board conference. The superintendents were there too. And he thinks we're going to start at 4 o'clock, but I will confirm and I will get the information to Bill.
Okay.
But, yeah, it would be great if people could sit through our meetings. It's going to be rough in both cities. But
we
yeah,
can
it's going to be crazier than Murrieta.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay. Last but not least, I almost forgot. Leave the best for last. Mr. Jerry Carlos.
I don't have too much to say, so I'm really happy with how hard our fellow club members did or worked. I'm really looking forward to helping Will the next time knock that guy off. I don't know what more to say about that one. And we have great people, we have great candidates, and hopefully our next election cycle will be getting more wins. That's it.
Thanks, Jerry. Thank you for running. That was amazing. Thank you to all the candidates. It was great of all of you to show up. It means a lot to us to have you guys here telling us, you know, how you feel about your elections, and that some of you are coming back. That's impressive. Okay, we'll move on to reports. I don't really have a report to give today. Oh, Tim Sheridan had something to say.
Yeah, thank you, Fran. I did want to speak. I too was reelected, and I will be sworn in next Tuesday. My dear friend Maha Rizvi is going to do the honors, and I'm greatly looking forward to that. I didn't have an opponent this year, and I think part of the reason why I didn't have an opponent was because after I was elected in 2018, I worked very hard over the 4 years in my district and in the city of Lake Elsinore to support our city, my constituents, and I did a good job, I think, and that's part of the reason why I don't think anybody decided to run against me. I am very, very proud and so privileged to have worked with Nancy Young. She is a dear friend, and I was so happy that she won. That's a race that we need to win in the future, races like Nancy had. And finally, I just want to say I will have an announcement coming up about my future in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that. And thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Tim. Sorry, I just took it for granted that you got reelected a long time ago, and I forgot all about you. Okay, again, reports. I have no report. It's been a whirlwind months, year, and I'm so proud of everyone in the club, what got done. Postcards, everything that people did for different candidates. It was just amazing. And that's really all I have to say. Thank you. Thank you. We have a good base here. We need to build it. And that's all I have. Jerry, you've got something for programs.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Number one, our candidates for county Democrats are just great. I'm going to have a little bit of a hard time deciding which one to do. There's no loss. Whoever we would vote for is going to be great. And period. Just a comment on Tim Sheridan. My wife pays attention to the Facebook stuff, to the social media stuff, and just goes, "Hun," when she's talking to me, Tim is always on it. He's letting us know ahead of time. He is doing a fabulous job. I mean, there was no way anyone was going to beat him. He is just, and I'm in his district, so I know that. I live a few blocks away from him. He is incredible, and hopefully we can help Tim support him, whatever he wants to do down the road. So that's a biggie. Now back on programs, whatever, for the future, since it's my report time, whatever, I've been trying really hard to get someone from the Southern Poverty Law Center out of Alabama to speak to us. And I had someone scheduled one time, but then we got set aside for some candidate stuff that was going on. And for some reason, they got upset at me. But what I do have for our next meeting is a lady that is basically the same kind of organization out of the Inland Empire. So we're going to have someone that is a really great speaker for a Inland Empire Poverty Law Center type of organization speaking to us for our next meeting. So I just want everybody to know that. We'll get that information in later. Bill will put it out, so we'll know ahead of time. That's my report.
Thank you, Jerry. Marcia's excused from this meeting, so we don't have a membership report. Political action, Terry Connolly.
Hi all, and again, I'm just echoing the candidates for the Democratic Party chair, and also all of you candidates that ran, some successfully and some learned, were just amazing to hear from. I just want to thank everybody again, just echoing that. And also Jerry, thanks so much for your lineups that you have been getting and you work on are really amazing. I don't have a whole lot for political action right now. Everybody, a big thanks to, just to mention Allison Donahoe-Beggs, because she really worked on the postcards for everybody too during all this. So as far as political action goes, everybody just did their part, and no thanks to me necessarily. So thanks everybody. Most of my effort right now is on our nominating committee for our club, for the Southwest Dems, the DSRC. So I think, I guess I'll just bring that up under unfinished business, but thanks everybody. And so really no pending political action right now that I'm going to report. Thanks, Fran.
Thank you. Secretary Constance.
Yes, hello. If you are glancing at the agenda, you might see that I'm reporting out a motion from the executive committee meeting of November 21st that Bill Gaines moved, and it was unanimously adopted that the board authorize a 182 expenditure for postcards for the Georgia Senate runoff. And this was, Fran found a box set of 2,000 postcards. They were really wonderful. They had a graphic of President Obama endorsing, just telling people to get out and vote. We wrote a very short message and off they went. So we got that turned around really quickly. It was amazing and a bargain. And then I have also, we had a special meeting. The board had a special session yesterday about bylaws, and we, Terry Connolly moved, and it was unanimously adopted to accept bylaws amendments as proposed, and we will be looking at those a little bit later in the meeting under new business. So thank you.
Thank you, Constance. The board has been busy. Controller Mary Jo.
Hello. I guess the biggest thing that we've accomplished this year was accomplished in the last month and a half. We sent out over 46,000 voter guides to Democrats in Southwest Riverside County. That was also the biggest expenditure. We spent, let's see here, $18,423 to do that. That left us with $1,853 in the bank. And that's really about it. Nothing spectacular going on right now. We do need to build up our coffers because 2024 will be here before we know it. And if we want to do this again, we need another $20,000 to $30,000 in 2024. So it's time to pay dues as well, if anybody hasn't paid their dues yet.
Yeah, we'll be sending out reminder notices about dues. It is almost January, so
and hopefully we can find somebody that's excited about giving parties and doing fundraising things and have a fun way of raising money for the club.
Yes.
So that's a way that somebody can step up and help.
Thank
Or
you.
several people can.
Yes, a committee.
Yes,
Absolutely.
that's it.
Thank you, Mary Jo. You've done an excellent job, and I can't thank Mary Jo, Bill, and Constance enough. They did an amazing job on that that voter guide. It was gorgeous. So hope we can raise enough money to do it again in 2024. Let's see. Bill Gaines, Communications.
All right. There has been a lot going on already in this meeting, and I would like to talk about two things that I am super actually excited for. Number one, how we did this year. I'll talk briefly about that. And then number two, how we're going to do going forward. This year, Mary Jo just set it out. We put thousands of pieces of mail out into the world, and that is a very real and tangible thing that we did, and we spent the money required to do it. And that, for just personally, that is kind of that's a really big deal. I don't know that I've ever been as directly involved in any sort of, you know, like an organization. I've worked at companies, I've worked at billion-dollar companies. This feels way more impressive to me than anything. Like I've been a small cog in a big machine before. That's what I'm saying. So this year was just so much has been done that I like. If you had asked me if we could have done it, I would have been like, no. But then we went ahead and we did it anyway, and it's amazing. So big thanks to everybody who helped. Big thanks to everybody all year long who gave any money for any reason. We had a barbecue in May. We did mailers in the fall. We had people stepping out of their homes to go knock on other people's homes doors, which is intimidating for a lot of people, but a lot of y'all did it anyway. That's super cool. I'm just thrilled. I really like what we have done, and I feel like there is we're on an upswing right now, and we're building, and it's going to happen. So also, let's talk about next year. Honestly, I could not be more thrilled with the three choices for RCDP chair. All three of them mentioned a desire to bring all the clubs together and be like a galvanized, centralized point. I can't wait for that. I want that so bad. I really want to just make sure that we can see what the other clubs are up to, just so that we can sort of, I don't know how many of us are competitive in nature. I'm not usually, but I do like the idea of seeing what, club, like, oh, there's people way out the desert scene, what they're doing, and how we can one up them, how we can have a better barbecue, a better rally, a better fundraising event. How can we just make it fun? I think it's going to be fun. I think I'm really looking forward to, expanding my personal network. And I know that there's going to be a lot of people who are going to start looking at our club and saying, okay, that's the way into my ambitions. And I would love to be that for those people. So interclub softball tournament, absolutely. Battle of the bands, if that's, if they've got any musical talent. I don't know about them. I know that we do. And that's about it. I don't have anything too specific. It's the end of the year, guys. I want to stay excited for next year. Next year's going to be amazing. This year was amazing too. So big thanks to everybody for doing all the amazing things that everybody did.
Very, very well said.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that did chip in and towards the mailers and the postcards that we did. We had a lot of people that stepped up to help out with that, and that was a big help.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
And to anybody who dropped off cans with Lori and Dean, we still collect aluminum cans and bottles. Contact Dean. He'll get them in. And how much was that last month, Mary Jo? The total for cans?
Let's see. The last check was let's see what I say. $189, almost $190.
$190,
which is amazing.
That's
not
big.
bad. That's great. So yeah, keep turning in the cans, Constance.
Well, and I just want to give a shout out to Bill and let him know that he was a big cog in a small machine. We really appreciated that.
Yes.
Doing a great job.
We'll just start calling you Bill the Cog.
Cog Bill. There we go.
Cog Bill. Okay. There we go. That's That's it for officer reports. We'll go on to unfinished business. We're getting there, guys. DSRC Officer Nominating Committee. And I gotta say, everybody's worn out, and I think we still have some positions open. Terry will tell you what we've got right now. I'm hoping that some people will recover in time for the election, which will be Tuesday, January 3rd, right, Constance?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Because
our
of the
meeting next
budget.
month will be on the Tuesday, because the 2nd is the holiday for New Year's. So Tuesday. Go ahead, Terry.
All right, thanks again, Fran. We need something to do on January 3rd. We need some people to elect. We need people to step up. This is your, as Bill terms it, the call to service and call to action. And if you weren't, if you didn't think the club was worthy before, when you hear the great people like Jerry is going to continue on, hopefully in the position as the programs chair, and you got Mary Jo that's done such a great job as controller, and our illustrious Cogbill is going to be stay on as the communications chair and running our communications, which he's done so well. But the positions open are club president. Fran has just done an absolutely phenomenal job in the last 2 years. Just real quick history, if everybody didn't know, I was the president of the Temecula Valley Dems, and Fran was the president of DSRC, and we merged the clubs. And I think we've had just an absolutely amazing board for the last 2 years. I've been really proud to be on the board and serve with everybody. So, but we need new blood and new people. And going back to what Edison said, you know, we really have to reach out and get young blood into clubs like this. Not exclusively, but obviously that's the way to go. You know, Bill's a good representation of the younger people stepping up and stepping into club positions. But we have the club president, we have my position, political action committee VP. We haven't had a VP of events. That hasn't been super active, but we need a candidate, and we will. I'll just move ahead, and then a VP for secretary and a VP for membership. Marcia, who's not here today, is in that position now. So I just want to encourage everybody, look at the agenda. My email and my phone number are there. I would love anyone to reach out. There's a couple people on the that are here at the meeting that have reached out to me. I've gotten back to them, and hopefully they'll get back to me, and we'll narrow this down. So I will do the nominating, and then we'll vote on that on the 3rd. So really look in your heart, and for those of you that want this club to continue on and continue in the right direction, and any of the candidates that didn't end up being successful in this run and want to stay in the public eye and want to run the club and help with the club direction, I really encourage you to contact me if you would. It would just be this is such a great club, and we're all going to stay involved. Those of us that are serving on the board now, that are stepping down, and the other. Just another point to point out is that this is for 2023 and 2024. So as Mary Jo said, 2024 is going to be here before we know it. You know, Steve's already everybody's hitting the ground running, and so it will ramp up pretty quick. But we do have, once this Georgia election's over, you have a nice if you haven't been on a board before and worked with a board and worked with a club, you've got plenty of time to kind of learn as you go, but the pace won't be frenetic. Well, I stepped in a few months before the national election, and it was hair raising. So I just want to say, thanks to everybody for considering it, and please get in touch with me as soon as possible, and let's chat about filling those board seats. Thank you.
Thanks, Terry. DSRC candidates for ADEM caucus. Matthew Capiello has volunteered to speak to us about ADEMs.
Hey everyone, so just a quick update on the ADEM cycle this January. So Deborah Cunningham Skurnick asked me to help a little bit with the logistics of it in this area. So ADEM 71 is half Inland Empire and half OC, essentially, in terms of the map of it this cycle. There will be 7 candidates who are female, 7 candidates who are male or non-binary that end up getting elected. And the deadline to submit your application and name is this Friday. So if you are interested, please go to the website that I'm going to list in the comments and please submit your name. Also, if you end up applying, let me know, because a few candidates on our caucus and among my delegates are considering a slate. Now, I'm the convener, so I'm supposed to remain nonpartisan during this conversation, but I do want to emphatically state that it's important to keep Inland Empire representation in this assembly district and in the delegacy. As a delegate, you'll be able to go to the state convention, and the state convention is often a landing pad for many special interests that want to influence the California Democratic Party. So having an independent and reasoned voice when you're casting those votes on the platform for various elected officials in the state party is very important. And some of the people who have already expressed interest in applying are very civically active, very organized in multiple local campaigns. I'm very excited about the people applying. So please submit your registration by this Friday, if you're interested, and we'll have more information about the exact location address at the next DSRC meeting. Just some preliminary info. It's going to be Sunday, January 8th in person at Los Alamos Sports Park in Murrieta. In order to vote, you have to show up in person and either deliver your ballot or sign your ballot at that location. I'll send out some more info about it once we have all the logistics, but I want everybody from DSRC at a minimum to cast their ballot, because you all are a very important contingent of the vote turnout for the ADEM cycle. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Okay, Yusuf, can you tell us a little bit about AD 63? I didn't invite Maha, I should have, but I know you're involved in the slate.
Yes. Excuse me. Thank you, Francis. So as Matthew mentioned, the deadline to register to be a candidate for ADEM is December 9th. But on December 12th, they're going to open up a portal for everyone to register. You have 2 ways to register, one by mail or one in person. If you're planning to do by mail, the registration opens on December 12th, and it's going to actually end on January, the last day vote by mail is December 31st. So if you're planning to vote by mail, make sure that you register, and the website has already been put on the chat. You must register to vote. If you're planning to do it by in person, you still need to register, but you can do it until January 22nd. The other in-person voting place will be in Norco, and one will be in Paris, and they both are on January the 8th. Now, in AD 63, there are already 6 self-identified female who have registered, but we only have 3 male or non-binary registered to run for this seat. There's also a seat which called executive board, which means that you can actually attend the executive board session of California Democratic Party. And if you're planning to run for that, while you're registering, make sure you check that box. So there will be elections for 7 female and 7 other than self-identified females. As I said, we still have a spot open for self-identified female, and we have about 4 spots open for other than self-identified females. It's very important that you guys do register, at least for vote, but I like to see more people in AD 63 to be a part of this process, as Matthew mentioned. One more important thing is this, that as a ADAM, you guys actually, the ADAMs will be voting as a caucus for your assembly district endorsement. So if someone is running from your assembly district, you guys, those 14 people who will be elected will be voting, and you need 60% to get the endorsement from California Democratic Party. So it's a very important process. If it's for Senate race, then 1, 2, or 3, depends on how many assembly districts are part of it. They all go ahead and vote on it. And then, of course, you will get a chance to vote on endorsement from governor all the way down. It's a great process. It does require some traveling because sometimes the conventions are in up north or central California, but it's fun. You get a lot of chances to meet many elected officials. You can make a lot of friends. And as Matthew said, it's the best way to do being an advocate for the values you believe in. So please at least try to register to vote for sure. But if you're interested in running for AD 63, AD 63 includes Menifee area, Lake Elsinore area, Lake Matthews, part of Riverside, Corona, Norco, and part of Eastville. So if you live in any of those cities, you're eligible to apply under AD 63. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Fran?
Yes.
I'm not sure that anyone made it clear to people here at the meeting, but any Democrat who lives in the AD can register to vote by going to that portal that it's going to open on December 12th that Yusuf talked about. Any of us could go and participate to vote for the people who will become the ADAMs who will represent us at the convention, at the party conventions. So
Yes.
it's
Correct. So you
Correct.
can get your family to vote, your friends, anyone that's a registered Democrat can vote
Yes.
if they register.
Yes.
Okay, last but not least, we're going to do bylaws. I know this is the part of the meeting that everyone's been waiting for. Bill's going to put them up on the screen and Constance is going to go through them. Fortunately, this is one of our briefer bylaws changes because we already complied mostly with the Riverside County Democratic Party, but we still had to make a few changes. So Constance, Bill, can you put up the bylaws the bylaws, and Constance will cover the changes.
Give me 1 second. I gotta find the most recently edited version. I think that's it.
Yes.
Okay. Share screen. There we go.
And while he's looking, I want to credit Fran. She's really the one that connected with the RCDP people and made the edits that they required. And so that it's really the result of her work that we have this. So thank you, Fran. The very first change is at the top of the page, and it says last amendment date, January 3rd, 2023. That's when we will vote on these at the next meeting. So this is the first reading of these amendments that we're proposing. Going to Article 3, membership, Section 1 members. It's been broken down into some new sections. So first of all, the heading for the first part is 1A, voting members. The definition of voting member is an active member. Nothing in that language is changing. But in the second part, non-voting members, originally the non-voting members, the student members and the associate members were together, and this is just simply breaking them into 2 parts. So they're identical. So the first part of the non-voting members, student members, persons under the age of 18 who are not eligible to vote and declare their intention of registering as a Democrat when they are eligible to do so. So student members have to meet that qualification. Associate members, persons who are not eligible to vote and declare their and declare their intention of registering as a Democrat when they are eligible to do so.
Bill, can you
So,
move it up? Thank you.
and associate members are basically people who perhaps they're not citizens yet, or there's some other reason why they can't register to vote yet, but they have the intention of registering as a Democrat when they are able to do so. Okay, section 2, voting rights. This is just a clarification. All active members in good standing who have been members for 30 days or more are eligible to vote in meetings, endorsements, and elections. And that's language that is required by the county party and the state party. And now we're skipping ahead to page 5. Article 6, meetings, general meetings. This little tweak will make it so we don't have to vote every time that our Monday meeting falls on a holiday. It'll just be automatic. So this language is being added to general meetings, meetings falling on holidays. For example, New Year's Day, President's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, and Labor Day will be scheduled for the first Tuesday of the month. Bill, didn't we change that to EG?
It is EG.
Oh, okay, I'm looking at my thing.
Okay,
never mind.
no, yeah. Everyone else is seeing EG.
Oh, good. Yeah, well, I threw it in there. Okay, the bottom of page 6. I'm gonna have to look at this little tiny screen here. Okay. All right, section 7, Riverside County Democratic Party notification. This is an all new section required by the county. DSRC will keep regular communications with the Riverside County Democratic Party by sending notice of meetings and events to A, the chair of the RCDP at chair.rcdp@gmail.com. B, chair or chairs of the RCDP Assembly District Delegation or delegations in which significant numbers of the organization's members reside. C, emailing copies of the newsletter to the RCDP chair at chair.rcdp@gmail.com. Wow, made it through. Good. Okay, and then we're on page 8. This again is required by the county and well, in the state too. The DSRC may only endorse as many candidates as there are open positions to elect. So if we have multiple Democrats running for the same office, we may only endorse one of them. It's basically what that is saying. Okay, and I think that's it. Yes, that is it.
That is it.
So that's the
Okay.
first reading, and we will, at the January meeting, we will be voting on whether to accept these.
Yes.
The membership will be voting on them.
Any questions on anything that we just read? So we can clarify if anyone has any questions. Okay, very good. Announcements. Constance, you want to take care of the announcements? Why don't you do 1 and Bill can do number 2?
Let's let Bill do number 1. It's longer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not
okay.
even looking at it. Hang on. What?
Actually, he should do number 2. I'll do number 1.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, actually, if they're numbered, never mind. Duluth Farm Workers. So every month, Indivisible Fallbrook collects items and monetary donations for local farm workers and their families. And Becky Saltzman and Diana Fink, their contact information is there in the announcements. And they list the current needs on their Facebook page, which is Duluth Farm Worker Donors. So you can find that information there.
Thank
Okay,
you. Bill, number 2.
All right. So yeah, we will have I don't know if we at some point should make it official, but it seems like moving forward, we're going to be doing our 3rd Thursday of every month, just getting together super casual style at Solaris Beer and Blending in Murrieta. It's it is just a wonderful little local brewery. The brewers are very, if they're not, I don't know if they're Democrats or they're just Democrat friendly, Terry knows better than I do. But yeah, they're super cool. Solaris is a super cool brewery. There's always something going on just about every night. Thursdays, it's usually it's like bring your own vinyl night. So if you want to bring a record, the DJ there will go ahead and spin it for you. Fazia has a question. Fazia?
She says no.
No?
No,
Okay,
I'm
sorry.
good. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, the point of this is nothing other than just getting together in person. This year has been the year that we finally, I feel like we took the biggest step forward towards getting back to doing in-person things with other people in places where other people are again after the pandemic. We're still in the pandemic technically, but we do seem to have control over it. And Solaris has a wonderful outdoor patio with heaters, so it's always comfortable and it's always, you can just stay outdoors. And that is the safest place to be in any kind of a pandemic. And the second safest place to be is an outdoor place that serves really good beer. And Solaris checks both of those boxes. Cannot recommend them enough personally. So yeah, third Thursday. This month it's going to be the 15th. Luckily, the month started on a Thursday, so we get it early, which is good because we have holiday stuff coming up after that.
And Bill, if I can just add also,
please.
as you know, there's plenty of stuff for non-drinkers. There's usually a food truck there, so there's food. They also have the biggest pretzels you've ever seen. They're like the size of my car. And but they're wonderful, and they have slushies and they have chips, different stuff. So it's comfortable for everybody, even though it is the most amazing microbrewery. And the outdoor area seats something like, I think the owner told me the capacity is like for 90 people. So
yeah, it's pretty big
with the heaters, right, Bill? It's much more tolerable.
They have heaters. They also have cornhole. Like it's just sitting there. Anybody at any time can pick up, put the ramps up and throw some bags. To those slushies, yes, if you guys know the slushy machines at 7-Eleven that are always spinning, they make these amazing sour beer concoctions and they put them in the slushy machines, and so you have like a frosty bev. So if you want to feel like you're out on a cruise, that's the best option for you.
Yes, amazing. Okay, any other announcements? Anyone have any other announcements? Okay, well then it is time for adjournment. Is there anyone that would like to continue this meeting? Raise your hand. Okay, then we're adjourned. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been awesome. Great meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Night, everyone.
Everyone, thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.